Hello, welcome back to Community Starcraft 2. I'm here for Game 4 of WhiteRa versus WhiteDIMAGA, and if you have not watched the previous 3 games, go ahead and check those out. They're pretty cool games to watch. Interesting stuff coming down in pretty much every game, so you guys might find those entertaining. In this match in particular, or rather this game, it's going to be on GSL's Crevasse, which is another fantastic GSL map that I really like to see. It has a natural expansion that's actually still constricted by your main entrance, so it's kind of a backdoor expansion. Only 6 mineral patches and a rich Vespene geyser, which there's a few different versions of this map as well. I'm not sure if any of them do not have the rich Vespene geyser or not, but essentially the rich Vespene geyser gets you more Vespene gas for the same amount of harvesting. So you use less workers to gather a lot more gas, so it's an interesting concept to have. And then down your ramp, there's actually destructible rocks that can be broken down to make this ramp wider. But down the ramp there is a third, and that eventually transitions into a small fourth with only 5 mineral patches and just a regular Vespene geyser. So matches on this map can be quite interesting to watch, considering a lot of different stuff can come down. WhiteRa is opting to go for a gateway first instead of a forge, which you can get away with forge fast expanding on this map pretty easily because it's a small choke and your expansion is right there. But WhiteRa showing this gateway first may be an indication that he actually wants to take the outside expansion, which has more minerals and technically more gas, but you need to use more workers to mine that gas. WhiteDIMAGA is going to go for a hatch first here at his backdoor expansion on 16 supplies when it went down. So fairly normal stuff, and a spawning pool immediately afterward. Overlord is fortunately scouting in the right place. As we can see, he will see WhiteRa's stuff here in just a moment, as he does see that gateway now morphing in. So WhiteDIMAGA should feel really safe here from any sort of cheese or really fast rushes. Cybernetic core coming down here for WhiteRa, which is all normal stuff. But this is a little bit unusual that you would go for this kind of stuff and not go for a really fast Nexus, since that Nexus is so safe. WhiteRa is scouting around, seeing exactly where WhiteDIMAGA is. He is now going to find him, as you can see him arriving at the creep. He will see that WhiteDIMAGA's spawning pool is almost done, and his hatchery is almost done as well. WhiteDIMAGA going straight for the rich Vespene geyser, as we can see. He really wants that gas, but he wants the gas to be mined more efficiently, which is such a perk of being able to expand here. WhiteRa is going to go ahead and mine with this probe while he's out. Small drone transfer here of only 3 drones. Heading over to this gas. You can see WhiteDIMAGA has this timed out really well, as the gas finishes basically at the same time as the hatchery. So you can see these probes have their builds down to the exact second of everything that needs to be done. WhiteRa is going for a Stalker first to deny this Overlord. That Overlord should get away if he positions it a little further away from the cliff. But here comes the Stalker, going to be coming over here, and never mind, he actually loses interest in that and is going to sit at the wall or poke out at the watchtowers. Out comes some Zerglings to hold the watchtowers as well, and WhiteRa is putting a pylon down here, indicating he might want to expand there soon. Up comes a fairly quick Twilight Council from WhiteRa. I can't believe I just did that. Up comes a fast Twilight Council. I would expect Dark Templar, honestly. And WhiteRa's done different stuff in every game, so if he's going to stick with that tradition of different stuff in every one of these show match games, we may be seeing some Dark Templar here really fast. As you can see, he does have the gas for the Dark Shrine, and it should come down here any second. Yep, there it is, Dark Shrine. So WhiteRa's going to go for a pretty fast Dark Templar rush and get in here and bug WhiteDIMAGA as much as he can. This Stalker is really on borrowed time right now, since Zergling speed is going to finish in just a little while. I'm not sure that Stalker can get home before that speed finishes. There's going to be a Sentry and a Zealot waiting at WhiteRa's wall, ready to deny these Zerglings, and that Stalker should actually get away, as the metabolic boost is not going to finish up in time by the time the Stalker gets home. So Stalkers are so fast. Proxy Pylon down here for WhiteRa, so he's going to be ready to warp in those Dark Templar as soon as his Dark Shrine is finished. And I'm not sure WhiteDIMAGA is going to be prepared for this. At least he does have his lair coming up, so he will be able to morph Overseers and be able to take that out fairly easily if he's able to get that up. But there's a lot of different little intricacies within this rush that could happen, so we're going to watch out for that. WhiteRa is now taking his backdoor expansion. It's the Overlord. If it just moved over a little bit, it'd be able to see that. He did at least see that it's not there, so he should know that WhiteRa is going to be up to some shenanigans. for not taking that, but also showing expansion at the same time. It's kind of giving WhiteRa some strange scouting reads. Dark Shrine's done. You should see a couple of Dark Templar. Here we go, warping in. And they're two different kinds of Dark Templar. One of them with just the blade, and one of them with a big scythe. So they're ready to chop up some drones. We'll see how fast WhiteRa is able to respond to this. He does see it, and he holds position on these Zerglings just to buy himself enough time to morph an Overseer. So at worst, WhiteRa is, rather at minimal, WhiteRa is going to lose a Queen. Up comes the Spore Crawler, not really in enough time. These two Dark Templars should kill this Spore Crawler pretty fast, but there's now detection out for WhiteRa. Both of these Dark Templar are likely going to go down before doing any additional damage. And here comes some Zerglings rallying to kill these. So not a very good push there from WhiteRa. He did kill a whole bunch of Zerglings. Well, ultimately, you need to kill drones with that. You can see WhiteRa saw the little cloaked shadows there moving around and knew there were some Dark Templar there and just held position on his Zerglings so that WhiteRa couldn't just walk in and do whatever he wanted. So it's perfect play there from WhiteRa to defend that. Here's a little bit of a hidden third here from WhiteRa, but depending on the vision of range of this pylon, it may have actually seen that drone walk by, considering it had to go all the way up here, and this probe is holding this watchtower. So WhiteRa may be in on what's actually going on, but there's some pretty fast mutas coming out of here from WhiteRa at 9 minutes, ready to push in here and see what they can get done. I don't know if WhiteRa is going to be able to hold this off, quite honestly. We may very well be going to a tied series into Game 5. Mutas are pushing up here. WhiteRa really needs a warp in of Stalkers right now to hold this off, but even then, it just may not be enough. He only has 2 Stalkers and a few sentries out. Here's a small warp in of Stalkers, and nice positioning on those as he's expecting WhiteRa to move into this next expansion. But I'm not even sure if that's actually going to be enough, because WhiteRa could just come in here and pick apart these units one by one. He's going to get more harassment done on these probes, so you can see the tables have definitely turned. WhiteRa was definitely going for a harassment into getting some workers down, whereas WhiteRa just kind of flipped that right on his head. He's doing harassment of his own. And WhiteRa really needs to be careful here, because WhiteRa has spotting up here, and you can see when this wall is open. These Zerglings may just walk right in here and get on one of these lines and make this a 2-prong harass. WhiteRa does lose one of his mutas, so that's kind of a little bit of a bad thing there for WhiteRa. These Zerglings are still hanging out in front of WhiteRa's base. WhiteRa's doing a pretty good job of holding this off with his limited units. Ooh, another mutalist goes down. So WhiteRa is unnecessarily losing a few units here and there. He kind of needs to back off right now and wait for some reinforcements until he can just full-on engage this army. He's piling up a lot of Zerglings here. There's another 18 on the way, as we can see. At this point, WhiteRa's in a pretty bad situation. Up come the Zerglings, and they're going to run right into some Zealots, but they do get a run by. They do surround these Zealots, and all these Zealots are going to go down, in addition to the sentries. So these Stalkers are really undefended from these Zerglings. Up come the Zerglings, pushing in here and really surrounding the Stalkers well. The Mutas and the Zerglings are going to end this game. WhiteRa does GG out. So we're going to see a Game 5 here in this show match. I will be jumping straight into it, so stay tuned. I will be right back with the next game.